Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I want to talk about the recent Switch 2 rumours or Switch 2 leaks that have been floating around. Now, we've had rough rumours about the Switch 2 for quite a few months, but there's a big buzz in Nintendo world at the minute because this Reddit user, which I think is called I Am Hero 2, who has quite a good reputation for knowing what he's talking about, has come out and said some quite substantial claims about the Switch 2. Now, first of all, dev kits are already with developers. That's what he's claiming, which is quite understandable. If the Switch 2 is supposed to be launching early or late 2024, then of course developers have got dev kits already because they want to get their games ready for launch. It's rumoured that Square Enix are making a Final Fantasy VII remake for the Switch 2, quite possibly as a launch game, and he claims to have seen it or knows that it is almost PS5 power in this game, so they're quite substantial leaks, or quite substantial claims I should say, and if that's true, then the hardware is supposed to be somewhere between a PS4 and a PS4 Pro to give it more power. The Switch is fantastic, but Nintendo have never gone all out with specs, and the Switch is nowhere near as powerful as the PS4 or the Xbox One. And even though this new Switch 2 is supposed to be more powerful, they're still only putting it between a PS4 and a PS4 Pro. So it's not going to be as powerful as a PS5 or a Xbox Series X, but it's still going to have more beef than a Switch. So we don't know whether they've got actual Switch 2 consoles or whether they're dev kits. It's more than likely going to be dev kits, just so they can get their games ready for the new systems. It's supposed to have a camera, which is good news, because I was quite surprised when the Switch came out and it had no camera. Since the DSi, Nintendo have made big things about the cameras on their systems, and I know the Switch is a home console, but it's hybrid, so it's got no camera, and even the Switch Lite has no camera. But the new Switch 2 is reportedly supposed to have a camera, which would make sense. I think Nintendo could make advantage of AR with their new console, and just give this maybe social media side to the Switch 2, and bring all of those sort of things together. It is reported to be backward compatible, which is one of the biggest things that people have been wondering about the Switch 2. It would make a lot of sense for Nintendo to make the Switch 2 backward compatible, because the Switch has been a massive success, and for them to then just suddenly cut that off and start a new platform, it would be really bad. Nintendo have, at least for the last sort of 10-15 years, had quite a good thing with backward compatibility. So the Wii was backward compatible with the GameCube, the Wii U could play Wii games, and then when they brought the Switch out, it cut all those off. It's going to be a cartridge-based system, pretty sure of that. So are they going to go down the 3DS route, where it's a new cartridge, it can hold bigger games, but it's a similar shape to the Switch cartridge, so it can play Switch cartridges? Similar to the 3DS, so you had the 3DS with its cartridges, but it could also play DS cartridges, but you couldn't put 3DS cartridges in a DS, it had that little notch. So if it's going down backward compatible route, I think that may be the way they go, the sort of 3DS, DS way of doing things. And it would make a lot of sense for Nintendo to make the Switch 2 backward compatible, because like I said, the Switch has been vastly successful. It's got a huge library of games, some of which have been brought from other systems like the Wii U, and they are still planning some big name games. So Super Mario Wonder, I think, is out in October this year. If they then bring out a Switch 2 that cannot play Switch games, it's going to give these big name games a bit of a short shelf life. If we see the Switch 2 sort of mid 2024, then you're only going to get sort of 6 to 8 months of, say, Super Mario Wonder, and then people are going to move on to the next console. So that is roughly what we know or what we assume about the Switch 2. We don't even know if it's going to be called the Switch 2, but we are looking at having a decent amount of power. So it's going to be sort of PS4, PS4 Pro in between those, which would make it vastly more powerful than the Switch. It should have a camera, and it should be backward compatible with Switch games. And I think Nintendo would be very, very daft not to make it backward compatible. It would really annoy a lot of people, because there are a lot of Switch owners out there. It's currently, I think, the second biggest selling home console out there. Will people want to suddenly just drop all that, drop their vast selection of games and move to a new system? I don't think so. I wouldn't. I know from personal experience that the only reason I upped to a 3DS is because it meant I could keep my DS game collection and play them. I think if Nintendo had brought out the 3DS and not made it backward compatible, then the 3DS would not have done very well at all. And it's similar with the DS, because the first two versions, the DS and the DS Lite, could play Game Boy Advance games, and it made people more inclined to move to the new system. So for Nintendo to bring out the Switch 2 and not make it play not just Switch games, I mean, they could easily just allow digital downloads to be backward compatible, but people want their physical cartridges to be played on the new system. I really do think, and Nintendo should know what they're doing. Well, they've done backward compatibility very well before. It was a risk when they moved to the Switch to cut off the Wii and the Wii U, although the Wii U didn't do very well, so they just wanted to kind of separate themselves from that. We are looking at a Switch 2 for a possible release of early 2024. I think it's going to be more late 2024. I mean, the Switch was released in March 2017, so we could see a release date around the same time, or we might see one for the holiday season in 2024, and it could be the 2024 Christmas gadget to have. But who knows? That is pretty much all we know, and we don't really know that. That is rumours and leaks from a fairly reputable source, someone with a fairly good track record. If anything else comes up, I will let you know, but I'm not too massively interested in Switch 2. I've still yet to fully immerse myself into the Switch. A lot of people are, and a lot of people have asked for these things like backward compatibility, cameras. I think increased power, improved battery life, possibly getting around the Joy-Con issue. Although, if they were just to bring out a new main unit and for you to be able to use your existing Joy-Cons and accessories, that would make a lot of sense. More of a power upgrade than a full system upgrade. So let me know what you think. What do you think about the Switch 2? What do you think about these recent leak rumours? And would you be interested in upgrading? Do you think it needs to be backward compatible? Let me know. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.